Good morning, I'm Juliana. I go by Light of Wonder. I love you. How'd that make you feel? Uncomfortable? That's okay. I used to be really uncomfortable towards love too. I know. And I'm finding out the more love that I am, the more silly and playful and goofy and imaginative I am. And I can't help but talk about the two perceptions of reality that I've come from because it's changed my life and I want it to help somebody. I was getting in my car this morning and I was just driving and tootling along, and then all of a sudden this car comes really close to me and decides to fly around me like they have somewhere so important to get to. And I used to be this way, guys. My mind was chaos. I was chaos. I was in dysfunction, and I was out of control within my mind. So I tried to control everything around me, and I was walking on eggshells. I was a freaking mess. I won't ever forget when as long as I had my alcohol and my cigarettes, I was running on empty, but I was good to go. I know it was such chaos and dysfunction. Can you relate to that? Because I used to be a mess, and today I am not a mess. I am grounded in the present moment. And I found something out, guys. We can protect ourselves when we are conscious, awake, and aware, because we can read a room. Yes, we can. We can identify people's emotional states. We can observe our surroundings and look around and observe how other people are feeling inside just by their facial expressions. Whether they're coming from a place of anger and rage, confusion, frustration, and determining on how we read a room, we can prevent ourselves from harm. We can be safe because we choose not to be in environments where there is rage, where there is anger, where there is frustration. We choose to be in environments where there's peace, where there's a calmness, where there's a warmth, where there's a gentleness, where there is a smile, where there is laughter. I know this is going to be extremely hard for the person that comes from dysfunction, chaos, and misery. But if you don't want to die, if you don't want to live a short life, I would encourage you to wake up and get conscious, get present. Because all this time, I should have been present. I wasn't. I was living in my head. I was allowing my subconscious mind to run my reality by fear. But it's because I did not know my worth. I did not know I was valued. I did not believe I was deserving, loved, and valued as a human being. So I would walk into my environments trying to prove and earn and win my worth, my value, and my love. And I found something out. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to earn. There's nothing to win. You are so loved, valued, and worthy because you're going through the human experience. And unfortunately, for me, it didn't happen. It didn't happen by just asking Jesus into my heart. It didn't happen for me that way. Somebody had to model that in my life before it inspired me and moved me. My heart goes out for the people that don't have a saving grace. Because if you don't have a model of love in the present moment reality, if you do not experience that ever in your life, then there's a chance you're going to live in dysfunction and chaos forever. Because yes, Jesus' character is what we should model. But if you have no one to model it to you, it's hard to know what that looks like. I'm so grateful that I'm able to see what Jesus' love actually looks like. Alright, so this is how we determine Jesus' love, okay? This is how we determine whether somebody is actually on the path of Jesus. They have a peace about them. They have a calmness about them. They have a gentleness. They have a warmth about them. They aren't worried how other people perceive them. They have a silent, calm, warm, gentle peace about them. They're non-judgmental. They have compassion and empathy for others. They put themselves in other people's shoes. For a long time, I didn't think I was valued, loved, and worthy because I thought that people had to talk to me all the time. I thought that if someone waved at me and didn't want to talk to me, that meant that they didn't like me. I don't know. I had such a deep-rooted core belief about myself that I was not whole, full, and complete and perfect the way I was created. And so I walked into my environment over and over again, reaffirming my belief within myself I was unvalued, unloved, and unworthy, and undeserving of love. I know. But I'm here for you if you feel this way. Just because people don't talk to you and communicate doesn't mean they don't love you or believe, that doesn't mean anything. People that are love are warm, calm, and gentle and peaceful. They don't have much to say because they embody love. They embody a grounded presence about themselves. They're confident, a quiet confidence. There's no other way to put it. Quiet confidence. And I did not have a quiet confidence. I had a loud confidence. I had to prove myself. But it was my ego getting in the way. And I had to dissolve that by being love in the present moment. Guys, it takes us dissolving the ego to get in touch with our Creator. Once your mind is still and silent, that's when you've actually reached your Creator. If your mind is racing, if you are competing and comparing, jealous, envious, any of that, you haven't reached it. I'm sorry, but you haven't. Once your mind is free, that's when you've reached the truth. I say that from my own experience of the obsession of the mind. If you care what people think of you, you are not free. If you care how other people perceive you, you are not free. I have people come up to me and they're like, "Get off the ground." And I'm like, who are you? It's making you uncomfortable because that's the state of your mind. I can sit on the ground if I want to sit on the ground. My value doesn't come from standing up. I think that's so interesting now when people are like very uncomfortable. I'll be doing something because I'm just present and you can tell it bothers them, and it's the state of their mind. They are not free of their mind. They're focusing on people around them wanting to control what others are doing around them because they are not free of their mind. Oh my gosh, it's such a gift to not care how people perceive you anymore. It really is such a gift. And I want everyone to experience that. The only way we can experience that is by dissolving our fear. Going into our fear. Leaning into everything that we fear. And a lot of people fear how they're perceived. Be free of your mind. Stop focusing on what everyone else around you is doing. Focus on yourself. Put your attention on others. Observe others without judgment. Stay in your own lane. Life is good today. Let's have a beautiful day, guys.